We still have major traffic delays on Highway 41 this afternoon near Holy Hill Road following a deadly accident involving a semi, a dump truck, and 2 other vehicles.
In addition to the wreck, a significant amount of diesel spilled across the highway. An environmental cleaning crew in the process of getting that all cleaned up. It could be hours before things in this area get back to normal. Let's take a live look right now from Chopper 4 overhead. You still see a number of crews there on the scene, and the wreckage of that semi still sitting there in traffic.
Yeah, it is a mess. The Germantown Police Department is holding a news conference right now to give us more details on the crash. We're
expected to hear from Police Chief Peter Hale. Let's go listen in.
Good afternoon. My name is Peter Hale, H-O-E-L-L. I'm the Chief of Police for Germantown. This is Gary WEISS, W-E-I-S-S. He is the Fire Chief of Germantown. This morning at approximately 11:45 a.m., we received multiple 911 calls of a significant crash on US 41 near Holy Hill. The calls were coming into the Washington County Sheriff's Department via cell phone calls transferred to the Germantown Police Department. Agencies from Germantown, Washington County Sheriff, Police, Fire, Jackson, Richfield Fire responded to the scene. This was a 4-vehicle accident. There was a utility-style truck that was traveling southbound on 41. Traffic was coming to a stop due to some construction that was further south of 41. When the traffic came to a stop, we believe the utility truck took evasive maneuvers, crossed the center line of 41 into northbound traffic, striking a semi-tractor trailer that was fully loaded. The other 2 vehicles involved were a pickup truck and a dump truck. All the vehicles did sustain damage. However, the dump truck was not a contact vehicle, nor was the pickup truck. So the semi and the utility vehicle that crossed the center line were the major contributors to the accident. There was 1 fatality in this accident, and there was also 1 very seriously injured, and the 2 other operators of the vehicles were not injured. There were no passengers in any of the 4 vehicles. Staff is still on scene at the crash. They're cleaning it up. It's taking a little longer than expected. We anticipate another hour to an hour and a half. So at approximately, I would say it's safe to say by 6 o'clock, the northbound lane should be open. Southbound is open, but traveling very, very slowly. We're not being any more specific as to any identification of the fatality because we have yet to make notification to all the family members, and we're still working on notification of the person that was seriously injured. There was a pretty substantial fuel spill, and Chief Weiss can get into that in a little more detail.
After the patients were treated and the 1 patient that was in the truck, we had to use the extrication tools to get him out of the vehicle because of the damage. Once the patients were treated and the 1 patient was transported by helicopter to the trauma center, we had about 150-gallon diesel fuel spill on the highway and also directly into a culvert that traveled underneath the onbound ramp to the highway. So we had diesel fuel on both sides, plus probably about 50 gallons of motor oil. Right now, the fire department, along with Washington County DPW, are in the process of cleaning it up, which has taken quite a bit of time, as you can imagine, because of the cold weather. We're trying to make sure it's not slippery, so it's not dangerous for other cars after we leave. We also notified the DNR because of the fuel on the soil and in the waterway. They have to come out and check that out, and some of the soil will probably have to be excavated.
The reason that both northbound and southbound lanes were closed is because both directions of travel were involved in the accident. So in order to reconstruct the accident, we had to keep both directions of travel closed. We were able to open up the southbound lanes first because we basically reconstructed that area, and the majority of the crash occurred in the northbound lanes.
Chief, you said that you believed it appeared because of stop traffic. Did witnesses tell you that what they saw, or were you able to determine that's exactly what sort of triggered this whole thing?
We don't obviously know all the specifics until the investigation is complete, but witnesses did tell us that traffic was coming to a stop on southbound 41, and that's when the subject took evasive action and went into the median. All the details of why he maneuvered that way is still under investigation.
At that time of the morning or day, if you're heading south on that, is sun a problem? I mean, could the sun potentially be in the face or not?
Generally not, no.
To clarify, that utility truck was the only vehicle that was traveling southbound when it went into northbound traffic?
Correct. The other vehicles are traveling northbound. The pickup took evasive action to avoid colliding with the semi in the utility vehicle and went into the median and was stopped by the wires.
And both the pickup truck and dump truck essentially slammed into the back of the semi-truck that was the first car in the northbound. Can you be more clear on their involvement in this crash?
The dump truck did not collide with a vehicle, but it went into the ditch, which caused that vehicle damage, and that would have been to the right. And then to the left is where the pickup truck went into the median and struck some cable. So they were not directly in contact with the two major vehicles involved in the accident.
And are you able to at least clarify the fatality? Was it the utility driver or the semi driver?
Well, because of obviously the name is displayed on the semi, I would rather not identify where the fatality came from, as well as the other vehicles involved.
Chief Weiss, I guess you can talk about the concerns of this cleanup at this point with all that much diesel gallon spill. Can you elaborate?
Well, I mean, spills like this occur every day throughout Wisconsin, throughout the United States, so the fire department is very well prepared to clean this up. Really, once we depart the scene, the highway will be back to normal. The trucking company hired a private environmental contractor to come out and actually excavate the soil and clean up the residual diesel fuel, which they'll do not today. They'll come a couple of days later after they do some other things, but they'll get all the contaminated soil and fuel out of there. We put boom up, which is basically absorbent, so the diesel fuel wouldn't flow into any other waterways or things like that. We contained it.
Could you describe the construction work that caused the slowdown? Does the southbound traffic turn into one lane, or that would cause the backup around any time?
There's a large construction project going on in the area of Maple and 41 involving a bridge, and that changes depending on what kind of work they're having and what they need. There was, I know, at least one lane closure at the time.
Was there a warning at any point that you're aware of? Any signs indicated that a lane would be closed?
Yeah, it's all very well marked and coned and a lot of signs, and it's a reduced speed. It's been a long project, so if you're familiar with that area, drive it every day, you're aware of it.
We actually had an accident earlier today south of there in the southbound lane because of the backup traffic. Also, another tractor trailer was involved with a car. They had minor injuries, but did cause a slowdown about 2 hours earlier.
In that particular accident, the driver was not paying attention. And then when traffic came to a stop, she had been looking down and looked up and then took evasive action, and then that's what caused the rollover. So inattentive driving was a problem there.
And we're drawing parallels perhaps to what happened later?
I would just be speculating. We really don't know, why he took those evasive actions yet.
And who was taken to the, do we have the extent of the injuries of the person that was taken to the hospital?
We're going to step away from this news conference right now. The headlines, though: one person is dead, one other in very serious condition after these four vehicles came together. Also some pretty nasty spills to clean up.
Yeah, so Highway 41 near Holy Hill Road, expecting another hour and a half on the cleanup. So hopefully by 6 o'clock tonight, those lanes will be back open in the northbound direction.